All right, before I do any panning or volume adjustments or anything else, I need to address each individual piece with some equalization and address frequency issues that they might have. So I'm going to start with the lead vocal, maybe skip ahead a little bit in the song to some different parts. And I've got this on loop playback so I can just highlight a section. And I'm going to use the standard Pro Tools 7-band EQ and start listening. Usually where I like to start with this is just by turning on the high pass filter and turning up the Q one notch and just adjusting the frequency cutoff until I hear the integrity of the voice be affected.
I can see, oh, won't you believe?
All right, there we go. The next step is to do what I call a Q sweep, which is to, say, take some of this middle frequency area, pump up the gain quite far, narrow the curve, and then sweep around in the area until I hear something that stands out to me as like nasty.
I can't let go.
So you can kind of hear that sibilance, that the stress on the S sound and some other sort of whistly kind of sound. So that's me pinpointing, like, and exaggerating a specific frequency that might be a problem area. Then what I do is I widen that curve a little bit to pick up on some frequencies on either side of that problem area, and then drop this down below the horizon. Between 6 and 12 decibels is usually what I do. And then you can do this a couple of different times throughout the frequency spectrum, and then you wind up with what kind of looks like a comb. They call it comb filtering. So I'm going to do the same thing again in this middle range. And this is where we get a lot of frequencies that overlap from all the different instruments or things. And we don't have a ton of instrumentation on this one, but I just want to clean this up as best I can.
I can see.
You can feel that sort of like hollow sort of sound. So I'm going to widen it again and then drop it down. One more time with the low mid frequencies.
You believe I can let go.
Okay, and then it's going to be bypassing, right? Listen to it before and after.
I can see. Oh.
So it's just sort of controlling and taming the voice just a little bit. And since I know that this, both the lead and the harmony vocals were recorded by the same person in the same session with the same setup and microphones and all that, I'm actually just going to hold Alt or the Option key to click and drag that EQ down on top of the vocal harmony as well. So I'm going to use those for both things. Now when I go to the piano, it sounds great. I don't want to mess with it too much. However, when I go to the piano overdubs, you'll notice that this is mostly like high register, sort of like additional little flair. But I can actually hear like the action of the piano. So I can hear like the sound of the hammers and maybe even it's like fingers on the keys themselves. And I really want to focus on that high pitched stuff. So I'm just going to quickly insert EQ here. And again, turn on the high pass filter. And I'm just going to remove some of the low frequency sound. Just because, you know, you almost hear like the pedal being like stepped on and released and all that stuff, and the dampening of the strings. I'm just going to go ahead and chop all that stuff out because I've got some of that natural nuance happening with the original piano track. So now I think this puts us in a really great place. It's really going to shine through. There's subtle changes that we're making with small bits of EQ adjustments and everything, but overall, it's just going to feel a little bit less cluttered when everything is working together. And then we toss on some reverb and some room sound and all that.